Welcome back to BIM Heroes Radio. This is episode 10.
Episode 10.
Yeah, where we're going to focus on self-leadership
Yep.
in leadership.
Right.
And this week is week 10 of our 12-week leadership development program.
Okay.
So this is going to be really helpful for everyone going through that. And we've got a whole bunch of articles about self-leadership that we're going to be pulling apart in this deep dive.
You know, it's interesting how much emphasis there is on self-leadership these days.
Yeah.
Like, you have to sort yourself out first before you can even think about leading other people.
But it makes sense if you think about it.
Right.
Like, if you're a mess, how can you possibly lead other people?
Exactly.
It reminds me of that Jordan Peterson thing.
Yes.
About...
Get your own house in order.
Yeah, get your own house in order before you can help anyone else.
Totally. And it's like Simon Sinek's start with why as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like understanding your own purpose and your values and your motivations. It's like the foundation for everything.
Absolutely.
In leadership, especially when you're leading yourself.
Okay, so we've got this foundation of self-awareness.
Right. Yeah.
But then what? Like, what do we actually...
How do we actually do it?
How do we put it into action?
Yeah.
Especially in construction.
Well, Nicoleta Panagiotidou, she talks about this idea of control.
Yeah.
And how, like, feeling in control of your job and your life is actually crucial for well-being.
Right.
And she actually mentions a study where job control was a stronger predictor of disease than smoking diet or even age.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty powerful statement.
It is.
But, you know, in construction, things can be
chaotic.
A little chaotic.
Yeah.
Sometimes projects get delayed. Budgets get squeezed.
For sure.
Unexpected issues pop up all the time.
Yeah.
So how can we possibly maintain a sense of control in that environment?
Well, that's where Andrew Bryant's work comes in. Okay. He wrote a book called Self-Leadership, The Art and Science of Control.
Okay.
And it's really practical.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, he breaks it down into enablers and blockers and then the control framework itself.
Okay.
So the enablers are like things that help you drive us forward, like positive reinforcement, pursuing happiness.
Right.
And then there's blockers, things that hold us back, like...
What kind of things?
The pandemonium paradox.
The pandemonium paradox.
Yeah. Have you heard of that?
I don't think so. What is that?
Okay, so it's basically the glorification of busyness that we see all the time these days.
Okay.
It's like this badge of honor.
Yeah.
To be constantly stressed and overworked.
I know people like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that kind of mindset can sabotage us in terms of leading yourself effectively. Yeah. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Right.
So we need to be aware of those blockers and find ways to navigate them.
Exactly.
So what about this control framework?
Okay. So
what is that?
It's 4 steps.
Okay.
Pausing.
Yeah.
Problem solving. Working smarter.
Right.
And navigating the future.
Okay. So it's all about figuring out what you can control.
Yes.
And what you can't. And then...
Taking action.
Yeah, taking strategic action.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But working smarter in construction,
yeah,
how does that actually work? It's a lot of physical work.
Of course.
Right.
But even in construction, there's always room for, like, optimization, improving communication, leveraging technology to make things more efficient.
Okay, so it's about thinking critically.
Yes.
About maximizing efficiency without sacrificing
quality or safety.
Yeah, quality and safety.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about finding those leverage points.
Yes.
Where we can actually exert control.
Exactly.
And make a big impact.
Yeah, and that's where self-motivation and self-discipline come in. Okay. Because you can have the best framework in the world, but you need that drive to actually do it.
And that's what Daria Zimovets writes about.
She does.
She talks about self-motivation and self-discipline as the 2 pillars that turn aspirations into achievements.
Yes, and it's so true.
Right.
It's not enough to have goals.
Right. Yeah.
You need that fire.
Yeah, you got to have a fire.
To get started, and then the discipline to keep going.
Yeah, and especially when things get tough, which in construction.
Especially in construction.
They often do.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do we cultivate that self-motivation?
So she outlined some good strategies. Okay. Things like setting clear goals, cultivating positivity, overcoming fear, and celebrating your progress.
Right. Like actually celebrating when you make progress.
Yeah, it's about feeding that fire.
Oh, that reminds me of that quote.
Okay.
Motivation is what makes you start. Habit is what keeps you going, or something like that.
Yes.
I can't remember who said it.
I think it was Jim Rohn. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And so that's where that self-discipline comes in.
Exactly. It's creating those habits so you can consistently take action towards your goals even when you don't feel like it, which happens.
All the time.
All the time.
So self-discipline is about...
It's about that structure.
Yeah, structure and consistency.
Inconsistency.
What kind of practical tips does she give?
So she says, like, creating routines, mastering time management, resisting instant gratification.
Oh, that's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
And then holding yourself accountable.
Right? Like really actually holding yourself.
It's about having that internal structure so you can execute consistently.
Like a well-organized construction site.
Exactly. Right. Everything has a place.
Everything has a place.
It runs smoothly.
Speaking of time management.
Yes.
We've got two different perspectives on this.
We do.
From Maulik Gangani and Ahmad Firoozi. I'm curious to hear how they approach it.
It is fascinating to see the different perspectives.
Yeah.
So Gangani is all about productivity tools and time blocking to try to achieve work-life balance. He's all about structure.
Right.
And he even suggests tools like Trello or Asana.
Oh, yeah.
Which can be really helpful in construction.
Especially in construction. And you've got big projects and lots of moving parts.
For sure.
Okay, so it's about leveraging technology to streamline workflows and maximize efficiency.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what about Firoozi?
So he goes a bit deeper, I think, into the relationship between time management and personal productivity.
Okay.
He gives more practical advice.
Oh, like what?
Like breaking down your goals into smaller steps.
Yeah.
Prioritizing tasks.
Yeah.
Using methods like the Eisenhower matrix.
Right.
And then measuring your progress.
Oh, so you can see...
So you can see if you're on track.
Yeah, if you're actually making progress or not.
Exactly.
So Gangani is more about the external tools and systems.
Yeah.
And Firoozi is more about the internal.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Yeah.
But they both have the same goal.
Ultimately, they do.
Which is...
maximizing your output.
Yeah, maximizing output and efficiency without... burning out.
Which is essential in construction.
It is. We all know that.
We do.
Yeah. So how can we, as busy construction professionals, apply these principles?
That's a great question.
To actually work smarter, not harder.
Okay, well, that brings us to work-life balance and self-care.
Right, because it's so easy to get caught up
in the demands of the job.
Yeah, you've got deadlines, you've got
projects that are evolving.
Right, and you just
get sucked in. Yeah.
But we all know if we neglect our well-being, it's going to hurt us in the long run.
It will.
It's like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach.
Exactly. And that's where Matt Ridley's concept of adaptation comes in.
Okay.
He says we need to be adaptable.
Yeah.
Not just in our work, but in our self-care strategies as well.
Because the landscape is constantly changing.
It is.
So we need to adapt.
And we need to evolve our approach to well-being.
Okay, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we adapt our self-care strategies to construction?
Some of the things that were suggested are setting boundaries between work and personal time, prioritizing things like exercise, meditation, spending time with loved ones.
Right, the important things.
The important things.
Yeah.
Embracing digital tools for connection and seeking professional development to keep your skills sharp.
Right, so it's all about being proactive.
Exactly.
About your well-being and not just reacting.
Not just reacting when you're burnt out.
Yeah, when you're already burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we forget that taking care of ourselves is not selfish.
It's not.
It's actually essential.
It is.
For us to show up as our best selves.
Totally. And that leads us nicely to personal branding. Oh, yeah. Reputation management.
Personal branding in construction.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It is.
It's like we're all individual brands now.
We are.
Just like the companies we work for.
Exactly.
So just like a company needs a strong brand to attract clients and build trust.
Yeah.
We as individuals need to cultivate our own brands.
We do.
To build relationships and advance our careers.
To establish ourselves as leaders in our field.
But it's not about being fake, right?
No, it's about authenticity. It's about integrity.
Yeah.
It's like presenting your true self.
Your true self.
To the world in a way that's aligned with your values and your goals.
You nailed it. Authenticity is key.
It is. Yeah. It's like the hero's journey.
Oh, yeah.
Where you try to become the best version of yourself and then share that with the world.
And that's what builds trust and credibility.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered control.
Yeah.
Self-motivation.
Yes.
Self-discipline.
Yes.
Time management.
Yes.
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Personal branding.
It's amazing how it all comes together
It's
under self-leadership.
It is.
Especially in a field like construction.
And it's not just construction, though, is it?
No.
This applies to anyone.
Anyone who wants to be a leader.
Who wants to be a better leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In any field.
In any field.
Yeah. And speaking of being a better leader.
Yes.
Did you know there's a free leadership program?
Oh, yeah. Tell them about it.
It's on www.beamhero.io.
www.beamhero.io.
And it's fantastic.
It is. It's completely free.
Totally free.
And it gives you this structured way.
Framework.
Yeah, framework to develop your leadership skills.
If you haven't already signed up, go and do it today.
www.beamhero.io.
You won't regret it.
So we've talked about all these practical strategies.
We have.
For developing self-leadership. But I want to touch on one more thing before we move on.
Yeah.
Lifelong learning
Yes.
and personal development.
Crucial.
Alessandra Mel wrote this really interesting article.
I know. I read that word.
Comparing it to
The Hero's Journey.
The Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
Have you read that one?
I have.
What did you think?
I love how she connects those two ideas.
It's a powerful way to look at it.
It is.
Like, we're all on this journey of continuous learning, facing challenges, overcoming obstacles, and ultimately transforming ourselves.
Becoming the best versions of ourselves. Yeah.
That we can be.
So it's not just about acquiring knowledge.
No.
It's about using that knowledge to evolve.
To grow.
Yeah, as people.
As people.
Yeah.
Okay, so she highlights two crucial elements.
Yeah.
Introspection and courage.
Yes.
So introspection allows us to learn
from our experiences and turn that into wisdom.
Right. And then courage gives us that willingness to
face our fears.
Yeah, to face our fears.
And limitations.
To step outside of our comfort zone and embrace the challenge.
It's about constantly seeking growth and evolution.
Totally.
Internally and externally.
Yes. And she even highlights all these different avenues.
Oh, like what?
For lifelong learning.
Yeah.
Like formal education.
Yeah.
Online communities.
Right.
Books. Getting involved in projects.
Okay.
Volunteering. And even teaching.
Teaching.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's about embracing this mindset of continuous learning.
And exploration. And exploration, exactly.
So it's like that quote we talked about. Motivation makes you start habit, keeps you going.
Yes.
Self-leadership is about cultivating those habits.
It is.
Of continuous learning, self-reflection, personal growth.
It's about taking ownership of your development and becoming the leader you are meant to be.
And there are so many resources out there.
Oh, there are. Right. So many.
To support us on this journey.
From education programs, online communities, books.
Podcasts. Even just connecting with other people.
Absolutely.
Like mentors and peers.
And don't forget the leadership program.
Oh, yeah, the leadership program.
On www.bimhero.io.
www.bimhero.io.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's free.
Completely free.
And it will help you.
Deepen your understanding.
Yeah, deepen your understanding of leadership and apply it.
The principles.
Yeah, apply the principles.
In a practical way.
In a practical way.
If you're serious about being a better leader.
Go check it out.
Go and sign up.
www.behero.io.
You won't regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about a lot.
We have.
But I think it's really important to remember.
What's that?
That self-leadership is not a destination.
It's not.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a constant process of growth and evolution.
It is.
You know, it's interesting how all these articles connect back to the main idea of leadership.
Right.
It's like they're all highlighting different pieces of what makes a really effective leader.
It is. And especially when you think about the core principles of leadership that we talk about all the time.
Right.
Like visionary, inspirational.
Yeah. Authentic, dynamic.
Balanced.
All those things.
I love them.
Like Nicoleta's article when she talks about personal responsibility and managing that dance between order and chaos.
Yes.
That really speaks to the dynamic part of leadership.
Totally, because effective leaders
need to be adaptable, resilient, and able to handle unexpected challenges.
Yeah, like constantly changing.
Yeah. And stay in control.
Yeah.
Even when things are uncertain.
Right. And that's definitely true.
Especially in
construction.
Construction, for sure.
Where things are always complex and there's always unexpected obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And then Daria's article talks about self-motivation and self-discipline.
Yeah.
Which I think really highlights the inspirational part of leadership.
It's about that long-term commitment.
Right.
And resilience. Being able to face the challenges. And, like Simon Sinek talks about the infinite game.
Right.
And it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Leaders who are self-motivated and disciplined, they inspire other people.
Right. They lead by example.
They lead by example. Exactly.
So other people want to do the same.
Yeah. And then we have Maulik and Ahmad with their different takes on
time management and personal productivity.
Yeah. I thought Maulik's focus on productivity tools and time blocking was really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that fits in with the visionary aspect of leadership.
Because it's about planning.
Yes.
And strategy.
Yeah.
And being able to execute things efficiently.
Yeah. And seeing the big picture.
The big picture.
And breaking it down.
Yes. And using those tools.
Right. Like Trello Asana.
Yes. Especially in construction.
Right. When you've got
lots of moving parts.
Yeah. Lots of moving parts.
Complex timelines. It can really help keep everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Ahmad?
So he talks more about breaking down goals into those actionable steps and then measuring your progress.
Right.
So I think that speaks to the balanced approach.
Yeah.
It's about setting realistic goals, keeping track of where you are, and making those adjustments as you go.
Right. So you're making progress.
Yeah.
Without burning out.
Without burning out, exactly.
And that balance is so important.
It is.
Especially in construction.
Yeah, where it's easy to just get
sucked in to all the demands of the job.
Yeah.
And then you kind of forget about
yourself, your own well-being.
So maintaining that healthy work-life balance.
Yes.
That's a key part of
self-leadership.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's something we need to pay attention to. Especially in construction.
In construction, yeah, where it's so demanding.
So all those things that we talked about, like prioritizing self-care.
Yes.
Embracing digital tools for connection.
Yes.
Seeking professional development.
It all comes together.
They all play a role.
They do.
In maintaining that balance.
Yes.
So we can show up.
As our best selves.
Yeah, as our best selves.
Yeah.
Both at work and in our personal lives.
Absolutely. And those professional development opportunities,
they're super crucial.
Especially in construction.
In construction, because things are always changing.
Yeah, technology's changing all the time.
Building practices are evolving.
You got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And it goes back to that idea of lifelong learning and personal growth.
Yeah.
And when you're committed to that, you inspire other people to be committed to it as well.
So it creates this culture of continuous
improvement.
Yeah, improvement and innovation.
Exactly.
Okay, and then personal branding.
Yeah.
And reputation management, which we talked about.
We did.
That's a key element of self-leadership.
It is.
And Merveilles' Mambu makes a great point.
Yes.
About aligning your actions with integrity and authenticity.
It's about being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And your values.
Yeah.
And your goals.
Right, and letting that shine through.
In everything you do.
Yeah.
And that builds trust.
That's what builds trust.
And credibility, which are so important for any leader.
Especially in construction.
Especially in construction.
Where your reputation.
Reputation is everything.
Is everything.
Yeah.
And then Alessandra's analogy of lifelong learning as this hero's journey.
It's a beautiful way.
It is a beautiful way to look at it.
To look at personal growth.
Yeah. And it reminds us that growth comes with challenges.
It does.
Setbacks,
but
they're just opportunities to learn and adapt.
And come out stronger.
Stronger. Yeah, just like a hero.
Just like a hero.
Facing trials and tribulations on their quest.
We can embrace those challenges.
Yeah.
It's opportunity.
To improve our skills.
Yeah.
And deepen our understanding.
Yeah.
And ultimately become
better leaders.
More effective leaders.
Yeah. And we have all these resources available to support us.
Like formal education, online communities.
Books, podcasts like this one.
Podcasts.
And even just connecting with
mentors and peers.
Yeah, mentors and peers.
Absolutely.
So many resources.
And let's not forget the leadership program.
The leadership program.
On www.bimhero.io.
www.bimhero.io.
Which is an amazing resource.
It is.
For anyone who wants to learn more about
leadership.
And apply.
Those
principles
in a practical way.
In a practical way. Yeah, it's free.
It's free. It's accessible.
It's accessible.
And it's got that structured framework to help you develop your leadership skills.
So if you're serious about becoming a more effective leader, go check it out.
Check it out.
www.bimhero.io.
You won't regret it.